The Grammys are one of the most important music events of the year, but it doesn't always go according to plan. With so much excitement and nervous energy in one room, it's no wonder it had its fair share of awkward moments this year. The Grammys had a massive slip-up last night, accidentally releasing the wrong name on their X page for the recipient of the Best Rap Song Award. They announced that Barbie World from Barbie the Album, performed by Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice, won, when it was actually Killer Mike for Scientists and Engineers. This was especially awful, as this would have been Nicki Minaj's first Grammy win, something fans have been lobbying for years. Nicki has been nominated 12 times since 2011, but has never taken anything home. It was an unfortunate mistake that was quickly fixed, but not before multiple fans grabbed screenshots of the tweet.
They announced on Twitter, and this is their Twitter, that Barbie World, Nicki Minaj and Ice Spice just won Best Rap Song. Then they gonna say the Grammy's official account mistakenly announced Barbie World as the Best Rap Song winner instead of Scientists and Engineers. What the hell?
Miley Cyrus has finally won a Grammy. It's about time. She won for her track Flowers in the Best Pop Solo Performance category. Flowers spent 38 weeks at the top of the Billboard Adult Contemporary chart, making it the longest-running #1 hit in the chart's history. The hook of the song and just the message in general had quite a chokehold over TikTok when it first came out. My point is, the song was popular. Everybody was singing it, just not last night during Miley's performance, leading to an awkward moment where Cyrus called out the silent crowd saying, "Why are you acting like you don't know this song?" Which is fair, the song is super fun, and pretty soon after, lots of people were up and dancing. Miley continued to bring the energy after she sang, started to cry, but then remembered, "I just won my first Grammy." No one was silent after that. She also received the Grammy for the Record of the Year, also for Flowers. Bebe Rexha was nominated this year with David Guetta in the Pop Dance Recording category for their collab One in a Million. Bebe is known on her own for party anthems like Me, Myself and I and In the Name of Love, but did you know about her extensive opera training? If you didn't, you probably found out last night in the middle of her red carpet interview with Laverne Cox. The pair started out with the average red carpet talking points, the songs, and the glam, but towards the end of the interview, Laverne brought up a past time the pair had met when Bebe revealed she wanted people to get to know the real her. She also brought up the fact that Bebe is a talented opera singer, asking her to share something about herself singing if she wants. And she did! The two of them were having a lot of fun, but for the viewers at home and on the side of the screen, there was a bit of confusion as to why a high C was suddenly being heard. Plus, singing with no music, unprepared, is always an awkward experience. Although, if this were going to happen on any red carpet, it would be the Grammys. Just a few days ago, UMG Studios announced that it would be pulling all of their artists' music from the popular social media app TikTok, prompting disappointments from fans worldwide. This would include songs from people like Taylor Swift, Olivia Rodrigo, Harry Styles, and Drake. UMG announced that the reasoning for that was TikTok wasn't providing adequate compensation for the use of the music. This year's host, Trevor Noah, he did not shy away from the situation. He called it out, saying, "TikTok, shame on you for ripping off all these artists. That's Spotify's job." Spotify was minding their business, but I guess no one is safe. Spotify did have a similar controversy a few years ago, but there is a new policy being put in place this year that no one is a fan of. The change is that if an artist receives less than 1,000 streams, they won't be compensated at all. For reference, Spotify pays artists about 0.003 to 0.005 of a cent per stream. That's only about $3 for 999 streams. Maybe they did deserve the call out. SZA won her 4th Grammy yesterday for her song Snooze. It was in the Best R&B category, but she was the most nominated artist for the evening with 9 nominations. Longtime friend Lizzo got to announce the R&B win, and it was met with plenty of excitement from the audience, only SZA was nowhere to be found. She took so long to come out on stage that people started looking for her. It only took about 20 seconds for her to come out on stage, but on a stage and screen as big as the Grammys, that feels like an eternity. SZA did explain her absence during her acceptance speech. She was in the middle of a costume change and had to do a, I'm assuming, celebration shot. Casey Musgraves was nominated in 2 categories last night, Best Country Song and Best Country Duo/Group Performance, for the song I Remember Everything, winning the latter. She had the opportunity to present an award this year. Unfortunately, the new winner almost didn't hear their name. Casey was standing so far back from the mic that the audience and at-home viewers had to strain to hear her. She did correct her mistake in time to announce the winner, eventually moving further forwards to actually announce the name. There was a bit of awkward silence as everyone tried to hear exactly what was going on beforehand, though. Another awkward red carpet moment came from actor and singer Michael Trotter. He revealed revealed in an interview that he had been pretty worried because he thought his wife, singer Tanya Trotter, was going to divorce him before their Grammy nomination. As an interviewer, I wouldn't know what to do with that if I received that info, but they handled it well. The pair is still together under the name War and Treaty and were nominated for their collaboration Lover's Game in the Best New Artist category. They received 2 nominations for the evening, but did not go home with either, unfortunately. Not everyone loves audience participation, even some of the biggest artists on the planet. During Fantasia's Tina Turner tribute, eagle-eyed fans spotted Beyoncé slightly hiding under her hat, not making eye contact when Fantasia was looking for a dance partner. The performance is a lot of fun and packed full of energy, so I can understand Beyoncé maybe wanting to sit back and enjoy watching instead of being a part of the piece. Beyoncé was not nominated for any Grammys this year. She did attend though with her daughter Blue Ivy to support her husband Jay-Z, who was receiving the Dr. Dre Global Impact Award. Beyoncé has received 88 nominations and 32 wins over the years, making her the artist with the most Grammy awards, yet never an album of the year, which actually led to another awkward moment. Not necessarily awkward for the audience, and more awkward for the Grammys. During Jay-Z's acceptance speech for the Impact Award, he used part of his time to call out the award show for snubbing his wife in the Best Album category. He said, "I don't want to embarrass this young lady, but she has more Grammys than anyone and never won Album of the Year. Even by your own metric, that does not work. Think about that. Most Grammys, never won Album of the Year. That doesn't work." And he's right. Beyoncé has created some of the best music and pop culture moments of our generation, and she's never won in that category? That's kind of weird. This isn't the first time Jay-Z has stood up to the Grammys. In 1998, he boycotted the Grammys over rapper DMX's lack of nominations. Probably the most awkward moment of all happened after someone left the Grammy stage. Rapper Killer Mike won 3 Grammys last night for Best Rap Song, Best Rap Performance, and Best Rap Album for his 2023 album, Michael. However, what should have been a celebratory evening turned sour when he was seen leaving the event in handcuffs. A social media post from the LAPD said the reason the rapper was taken into custody was because he got into a physical altercation that occurred at the 700 block of Chick Hearn Court. Allegedly, he got physical with a security guard that was not moving fast enough for Killer Mike's liking. No other details have been released yet. Coachella isn't very long, and yet so much went wrong this year, from technical difficulties ruining America's biggest music stars' performances to addressing love confessions live on stage. These are the top 10 embarrassing Coachella 2024 moments caught on camera. Coachella performances this year have been a mess across the board. We'll get to the big one at the end, but Grimes is unfortunately another victim of this. Grimes produces music in the lo-fi, R&B, and dance pop genres. Great choice for the festival. The tech for the festival didn't agree, I guess. Some of the DJ tracks were double the speed, among other random tech difficulties happening. It also apparently got so bad that Grimes screamed and cursed out of frustration. She had to stop the set multiple times, explain to the crowd in real time that she was having trouble mixing the songs because all the tracks were double the tempo. Overall, it sounds like a nightmare for the artist. The set actually got cut short because everything was going so wrong, and Grimes left the stage in the middle of one of her songs. She later apologized for the disaster on her X account, sharing that the reason the songs were messed up was because she had, in her words, outsourced essential things like record blocks, BPMs, and letting someone else organize the tracks on the SD card, etc. So it seems like someone else caused the speedy tracks. To add more context, Grimes went on to write, "The CDJs were showing me BPMs like 370, so I couldn't even mix manually by ear, and the front monitors were off, so it was literally sonic chaos on my end trying to guess how stuff was sounding for you guys." So it seems like the set truly was a hopeless case, as Grimes couldn't even hear what was happening. Luckily, she has said that she will fix everything herself in time for her next performance, but this was surely something out of a nightmare. Tyler, the Creator, is known for his animated stage presence and out-of-pocket remarks, never shying away from anything, not even at America's biggest music festival. This edition was Tyler, the Creator, addressing a friend's past affections for him. The friend was Jared Carmichael. Jared has recently revealed he used to have a crush on Tyler and that Tyler didn't reciprocate the feelings. Tyler acknowledged this on the Coachella stage, saying, "I'm guessing y'all got TikTok and probably seen my homie on camera. I looked terrible." So it seems even long after everything went down, Tyler, the Creator, is still not into it. Jared did express in an interview with Esquire that he appreciated that Tyler was willing to have a conversation with him about his crush in the first place. Who knows if he expected this to be brought up on such a big stage though. Nelly for retardo has left it all on the stage, including her own red stuff. The singer of hits like Eat Your Man was giving an incredible and energetic performance, and it seems that was her literal downfall. She had a nasty fall on stage, though she did get up and finished the set with plenty of energy. She later posted a photo of a pretty busted up finger with some lines of red running down the side. It looked pretty painful, so it definitely speaks to her professionalism and love for her work as she was able to just get back up with something so serious. She did smile big for the photo, writing in the caption, "Left it all on the stage." She certainly did. One interview went south almost as quick as it started. Singer-songwriter and actress Teyana Taylor is known for films like 1001 and songs like Gonna Love Me, and now storming out of interviews. The singer was being interviewed but apparently didn't appreciate the line of questioning. She started to express frustration and then ultimately stormed out. It was an intense moment, tensions were high. The interviewer looked on the verge of tears, the poor girl. Sounds pretty serious, right? Well, turns out it was all a prank. Taylor is just as funny as she is talented, it seems. Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce make headlines wherever they go, even if they aren't doing anything. In this case, all the superstars did was watch Taylor's friend and Karma collaborator Coachella's performance. Ice Spice was performing all her hits and doing a great job. She even positively called out Taylor at one point, saying, "Shout out to Taylor, mother effing Swift," the statement being met with cheers from the audience. Taylor and Travis really were just minding their business, supporting Taylor's friend, dancing with each other, and yet phones that should have been pointed towards the stage were directed at Taylor. It must be so awkward knowing that just your presence is distracting from your friend's performance. It must also feel awkward just having a bunch of phone cameras filming you flash on. Yet the international superstar handled it well, keeping her eyes on the stage and supporting her friend. Let's spice things up. JoJo Siwa's radical shift has been the internet's favorite topic for the past couple weeks. In case you missed it or you have been on a month-long vacation with no internet access, JoJo Siwa has gone from rainbow rhinestones to black rhinestones. She is undergoing a shift in her brand. She wants to be seen as more adult to match her new song, Karma. The opening lyrics of the song, "I was a bad girl," didn't fit with JoJo's old persona, her words, and so she needed to update her look to sing the song. The most recognizable look from this new era of JoJo would have to be the look she wore to the iHeartRadio Awards 2024 that was also the costume from her Karma music video. This is the one where she looks like she's going on tour with Kiss. Everyone's been trolling her for the better part of a week. She claims she's made the most major image shift of her generation. But many people online are pointing out that she just went from color sparkles to black sparkles, and that the core of what people know JoJo's brand to be is still the same. JoJo did an interview in the Karma Fit while at the iHeart Awards, and it went viral very fast. It is being parodied on all corners of the internet. JoJo was asked who her dream guest would be on her podcast, to which she responded, "Let's spice things up, one of my exes." The internet took the outfit and the comment and the voice and ran with it, and there is a high chance that if you have scrolled your For You page in the last week, you have been hit with this embarrassing moment. Barbie was a mega hit, the message of the film resounding with women and men all over the world, but Joe Coy seemed to have missed the message entirely if his embarrassing Golden Globes joke is any indicator. One of the many messages in the Barbie movie was about Barbie being more than a doll, more than just a woman's body parts. That seemed to have gone right over Joe's head. Last summer was the summer of Barbenheimer. Barbie and Oppenheimer, both amazing films, were coming out at the same time, and then because of that, they were pit against each other and have been ever since. Joe Coy continued this trend, but in a more disrespectful way. He praised the source material from Oppenheimer, talking about how it was a Pulitzer Prize-winning book, but his comments about Barbie, based on a doll with big boobs, that's it. Clearly patronizing the success of the film that so many people have expressed meant something to them and spoke accurately of the issues women and men face in society. The joke fell so flat you could feel the awkward tension from the comfort of your living room. An uninterested crowd is a performer's worst nightmare. Blur, unfortunately, got to experience that at Coachella this weekend. The English rock band were performing their many hits at the festival, and yet the crowd seemed like they would rather be anywhere else. The band apparently tried engaging with the crowd multiple times, tried to bring up the energy, but no one was into it. Sometimes they were even met with silence. At one point, it got to be too much, and the lead singer, Damon Albarn, addressed the bad vibes, saying, "You're never seeing us again, so you might as well F effing sing it. I imagine the feeling of being in that crowd would have been like getting scolded by a teacher. I'm glad I wasn't there. Fans of the band online were quick to comment on the situation. One fan writing, "I'm convinced Coachella has the worst vibes and people possible. It's Blur, show some respect." Others pointing out that maybe the audience was younger and not as familiar with the pop band as they were not from America. Still, if you're going to see a band, even if you don't know them that well, if they're trying to bring up the energy, give them something. Opening monologues seem to be a tough thing to put together. Shortly after the failed Golden Globes opening, we got Jimmy Kimmel's Oscar disaster. Not everything was bad, and we will get to that in a second, but there were a couple jokes in there that were the cutest. One that stands out was when Kimmel joked about Robert Downey Jr.'s past substance issues, something that RDJ has been very clear he doesn't like talking about. His face after Like Taylor's didn't look too pleased. There was also a moment where Kimmel made a joke about poor things that Emma Stone looked like she didn't appreciate. So yes, Jimmy Kimmel has had his share of fails in that opening piece. However, he did make a point with one of his jokes. Director of Barbie, Greta Gerwig, did not get a nomination this year at the Oscars, something that many people believe was a massive snub. Kimmel acknowledged this in the monologue, saying, "Now Barbie is a feminist icon thanks to Greta Gerwig, who many believe deserved to be nominated for Best Director." The Oscars audience then started clapping in agreement, but then Jimmy caught them all with his next remark, saying, "You're the ones who didn't vote for her, by the way. Don't act like you had nothing to do with this. You did this." He's right. Most of the people in that audience were the people that voted. It's their fault Greta was snubbed. So why were they acting like they were supporting her when they caused the problem? Most recent moment is fitting right in the last spot on this list, Lana Del Rey's Coachella set. This is not to say that Lana did a bad job, she was giving. It's just the microphone was not, it kept cutting out. Lana is known for having a powerful yet soft voice. Coachella is outside, a good mic is important in this situation. Unfortunately, Lana did not have that. She had to do sound checks with the audience, asking if they could even hear her. Stopping and starting constantly did have an effect on the energy of the set, which was unfortunate, considering she started out so strong coming in on the back of a motorbike. Overall, it was a tragic day in Coachella history. There was a bright spot though. Lana brought out another artist for her headlining performance, a great pick too, they have similar styles, Billie Eilish. Worked great for Eilish too, more exposure, especially with the new music coming out soon.
Highs, lows, WTFs, and woes. The Oscars are always full of fumbles and fuff-ups, from being played off by sudden blaring music to being bullied by the host or tripping on the red carpet. So, what was 2024's most embarrassing Oscar moments? Hosts do the most, so we'll break into everything awful said by Jimmy Kimmel first. Hosting the 96th Oscars is gonna have some pressure, but Kimmel's one of those few hosts who's done this rodeo more than once. Some years he's done better than others, and for the most part he balances terrible not landing jokes with genuine quality humor, or genuinely calling out people's behaviors, which everybody gets a kick out of. Like this year, when he addressed one of the biggest directorial snubs to ever happen in Hollywood against Greta Gerwig. It took all of 4 minutes at the top of the show before Kimmel addressed that elephant in the room. When the clapping began, however, Kimmel quipped, "I know you're clapping, but you are the ones who didn't vote for her, by the way. Don't act like you had nothing to do with this." That was pretty effing real of him. We need a little bit more of that in Hollywood. But anyway, that was one of his better moments of the night. He had his embarrassing moments, like his hair-raising one, where he described The Zone of Interest as a rom-com to Germans. So when he brought up the now Oscar winner Robert Downey Jr.'s past substance addiction, the room got pretty awkwardly quiet in that "are we allowed to laugh at that and what he's saying" type of way. Congratulations to Cillian Murphy's co-star Robert Downey Jr. This is the highest point of Robert Downey Jr.'s career, Jimmy had said before adding, "Well, one of the highest points." Robert was a good sport about the comment and tapped his nose as the tense laughter rang out in the room. In response to the nose tapping, Jimmy went straight up off script, as he often does during award shows, and continued to add, "Was that too on the nose, or was that a substance motion you just made?" Downey then motioned to wrap it up before mouthing, "Keep it going." While the interaction between them left some people wondering if it was a bit or not, it's easy to say it made a lot of folks uncomfortable and embarrassed in the moment, not knowing how Downey was feeling or responding, or how to feel or respond themselves. They didn't want a redo of that Will Smith smackdown, you know what I mean? But before we even heard from Kimmel, we first had to watch quite a few leading ladies take tumbles and falls. Kirsten Dunst was posing for photos in her elegant white square neck Gucci gown and Fred Leighton jewelry when she encountered a slight blip, or rather slip. In a video you can see Dunst is walking along the carpet while looking back at her husband, Jesse Plemons, lovingly and smiling for the cameras as she's in motion. But when she turns turns and holds her arms out for her man to come embrace her, she trips backwards and tumbles into a giant Oscar statue that happened to be right behind her. The couple greets the near fall with humor. The Friday Night Lights actor, dressed in a tux, he smiles, while his wife is giggling and hiding her face and whispering things in his ears. But earlier in the night, actress Lisa Koshy actually took a major fall, caused by her massive platform creeper heels and tight-fitted mermaid gown. She goes from walking to feet out from under her, landing on her ass in an actual heartbeat. Lisa sits looking dazed and surprised for a moment before embarrassingly laughing it off and slowly working her way back up onto her heels. In the now viral video, you can see she was laughing through it and even joking that a manhole was responsible for her wipeout. On the topic of wiping out, something else that didn't land was the Rustin toast. What should have been a celebration of Coleman Domingo's return as a valiant activist in Netflix, Rustin, completely transformed into what was called by many articles an Oscar spawn con, complete with cringeworthy tequila toast with comedian Gilmore Rodriguez. As audience members raised their glasses, Rodriguez called the Oscar-nominated actor Coleman Flamingo, a joke that missed the punchline by miles. To make the moment worse, this skit was followed by a Don Julio ad complete with firecrackers and line dancing and a DJ set that a lot of people said felt tone deaf. Commercials are a good reminder for us that this is really happening live, but so is a group of celebrities accidentally crashing a live feed, which happened with Billie Eilish, Cynthia Erivo, Phineas, and Ariana Grande. They crashed a live moment and they may have accidentally broken the fourth wall with their appearance on air while doing it. It was during the president of Motion Picture Academy of Arts and Sciences, Janet Yang's speech on camera. You can see in the quick shots that the group of five walked out behind Janet Yang and they were frozen like deer in headlight once realizing they were directly visible on camera. When the camera next cuts away from Janet, the group must have been waved away by crew because they weren't caught on screen crashing for long. Honestly, it was a refreshingly real moment, if not a little awkward and embarrassing for those involved. Sort of like how John Cena was feeling moments before realizing he was too scared to streak. It's only embarrassing in principle because it was actually pretty funny for everyone watching. Just not Cena, who had to, live it out. During the awards ceremony, John Cena appeared naked on stage as an homage to one of the most famed moments in Academy Awards history. For those not alive when it happened, a naked man appeared at the 46 Oscars in 1974, while David Niven was introducing Elizabeth Taylor. In the bit, John was supposed to appear on stage fully naked with nothing but an envelope to cover his junk, but he changed his mind. To quote him, "I just don't feel right about it. It's an elegant event, you know? You should feel shame right now for suggesting such a tasteless joke." Next thing we know, Cena peeks from behind the set and says he doesn't want to do the streaker bit, but will still take center stage with only the winner envelope covering, well, his little winner, much to the laughter and delight of the audience. But don't expect the laughter to linger because in came a real awkward playoff. Yevgeny Maloliteka, Mstislav Chernov, and Michelle Misner won Best Documentary Feature at the Oscars for 20 Days and Meropo. Chernov gives a powerful and moving speech about the film, about Ukraine surviving the onslaught of its neighboring country. Chernov spoke about the resolve of Ukrainian people and the importance of showing injustices around the world through film, and to quote him, "It's because cinema forms memories and memories form history." It was brilliant, it was moving, and it held so much power and prominence, shaking the room. And then the orchestra kicked in to sing him out with an especially cinematic orchestra-style rendition of "I'm Just Ken." It was the most tone-deaf musical moment of the night and caused ripples of secondhand embarrassment and cringing so bad it could send you running from the room. Thankfully for this next guy, it wasn't a run Wes Anderson had to make because homeboy simply just wasn't there, I guess. He literally no-showed his first ever Oscar win. Wes Anderson is among the most celebrated filmmakers of this generation and has been nominated for an Oscar 7 times. The 8th was The Charm for his live-action short The Wonderful Story of Henry Sugar, but Wes probably assumed it wouldn't be the win and chose not to attend. He wasn't there to accept the award, so no speech, leaving room for host Jimmy Kimmel to congratulate the director in absentia and joke that he was otherwise engaged building a diorama out of corduroy. Or, as some of the Oscar viewers speculated on Twitter, Wes maybe was merely irritated because his feature-length picture Asteroid City was snubbed completely, but speculation arises, as does commentary from many, they'd be embarrassed or even humbled by the award happening the one time they didn't show face. bringing it back to Kimmel putting his foot in his mouth because, like I said, there were highs and lows, and he spurred testy reactions when teasing Poor Things. Jimmy Kimmel had to hurl a few jokes at Poor Things, obviously. Emma Stone, the lead and producer of the movie that swept the Oscars, arguably a little too much, and he chose to allude to the film's numerous intercourse scenes at one point. During the ceremony, an edited montage that highlighted a number of moments throughout Poor Things as Best Picture Oscar contender played, after which the comedian commented those were the only scenes they were allowed to show on network television. The camera cuts to Emma, who seemingly turned to her husband, director Dave McCary, and mouthed something with a deadpan look that, of course, internet sleuths have speculated could be anything from "oh my god" to "what a prick" based off lip reader interpretations. But one thing's clear, she didn't seem very impressed, and it was embarrassing for Kimmel. But honestly, Al Pacino sent Kimmel packing because he had the honor of making not just one person, but an entire audience of people unimpressed, confused, and dare say scared and lost, with a horrible winner announcement. No disrespect to a Hollywood OG like Al Pacino, but he should stick to receiving awards rather than handing them out. Pacino was tasked with the most important announcement of the night, revealing this year's Best Picture winner. Normally, folks read out the different categories, camera cuts while live to the different actors nominated, so on, so forth. Y'all know the drill. Our boy Al here, though, literally hops up on stage to give the final award of the night, which traditionally is revealed with all this dramatic build-up, sometimes even drum roll for effect, and this 83-year-old man that he is cuts to the chase, ditches bells and whistles, doesn't even read out the list of 10 nominees. He just says 10 wonderful films were nominated, but only one will take the award for Best Picture. And I have to go to the envelope for that, and I will. Here it comes. He opens the envelope and then he blurts out, "M-I-I-C Oppenheimer." Yes. Yes. He doesn't even do the traditional line of, "and the Oscar goes to" beforehand. That's just it. The audience is massively confused about whether Pacino had in fact just announced the winner, and it took a moment for the orchestra to kick in, for the Oppenheimer nominees to start making their way to the stage. Pacino's confusing delivery immediately sparked a wave of memes on social media as viewers joked that he was trying to wrap up the show quickly as possible. To quote, Al Pacino had a 7:30 p.m. reservation at Musso and Frank. He needed to move some things along, said one critic, Richard Roper, on Twitter, referencing the actor's role in Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. And for our last segment, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, the Oscars chose not to make history. It was the upset of the night. Almost everyone expected Lily Gladstone to win Best Actress for her role in Killers of the Flower Moon. It would make up for the film being iced out of its other categories, snubbed again and again. Indigenous people everywhere were huddled around TVs, phones, radios. We got to cry and watch in awe as the Osage Nation gave a performance on stage at the real-life Oscars, something almost all of us would have never imagined being able to see one day. Please remember, Indigenous song, dance, and even gatherings were illegal in North America until 1951. That was only 73 years ago. So what you saw performed on stage was a criminal offense worthy of a death penalty before then. That's why it's not just representation, it's reclamation. This was huge. Then Emma Stone's name was called out. Again. Shaken up, the Poor Things actress accepted her award and thanked her cast members, the director, her daughter, and as Stone is describing ripping her dress or losing her voice throughout her acceptance speech, it's hard not to think of what a statement it would have been made to honor Gladstone instead. Stone herself even took a moment to speak directly to the odds-on favorite of the category, Lily, saying to her as she wept, "I share this with you, I am in awe of you, it's been such an honor to do this together, I hope we get to do more together." But actresses like Emma Stone win that award every year. She'll always be able to do more and win more awards. Lily was a rare shot, a first in Hollywood, one we might not get again for a long, long time, and that's the point. It wasn't just that she was the beating heart of Killers of the Flower Moon. Her win would have also made history as the first Indigenous woman to win an Oscar for Best Actress. It was such a missed opportunity. By awarding her, it wouldn't have been awarding one actress like it was with Emma. You would have been awarding an entire community. It represented more than Gladstone. It represented change in the industry, change in how people view us as Indigenous people, or at least it was supposed to. It was once again another slap in the face for the Indigenous communities instead. 10 Oscar nominations, nothing taken home. Many are commenting it feels like the movie never had a chance to ever win an Oscar, and it was only nominated to make the Academy seem less bigoted in their selections, turning the entire plotline, its history, the importance of the movie into just tokenism. I'd say embarrassing is only one word to describe this Oscar failure. Heartbreak is another. So, viewers, what did you think of the Oscar outcome? Do you agree with the choices? Or are you part of like normal society who's like grieving for Gladstone and screaming with rage on behalf of the Barbie movie? Comment your opinions down below, or share with friends to hear theirs.